So as everybody knows, they have to make sure I remember to record, which I've just done. And thanks for all the gratitude and the welcomes to us. And because of a strange timing of Australia Day here in Australia, it didn't make sense to start on or before the long weekend. So here we are starting in February, first time ever in something like 15 years, but we're glad to be here. I know I benefited from the extra rest, and I'm definitely was anxious to get going today. So as you can see, we have Ray Robbins beaming in from Manatech Inc. corporate headquarters. They're preparing for a big training there tomorrow, and we're very lucky to have him. And I just want to say, huge gratitude to Ray, because he says yes every single time, and when it's possible, he's here for us. So we should all need to be really showing up and be grateful. So Ray is from Flower Mound, Texas. He has 30 plus years of experience in the sales profession. He has a Bachelor of Science in Biology and Chemistry and served in the military flying helicopters in Vietnam, where he earned the rank of Major. He's an active member in his community and received the Chamber of Commerce Entrepreneur of the Year Award and has a real heart for children and our Mission 5 Million. The North American Giving Spirit Award is named in his honor, which says it all. As the co-founder of Manatech and previous member of the Manatech Board of Directors, Ray is indeed positioned to be of the highest support to us as associates. He carries the heart of Manatech on his sleeve, and he passionately helps the associate base worldwide. Having recently published a new book called Get a Grip with his son, Kevin, you're going to be both delighted and empowered by what you hear today. I'm excited. I've got my notepad. And today we're going to be talking about a lot of things, but including for your commitment to having your best 2019. So it's great linking arms with you. And Ray, thank you so very much.
My pleasure, my delight. Can I be heard? Is everyone hearing me?
I hear you loud and clear.
I was asked by Sharon first to talk a little bit about the summit that occurred in the U.S. recently. And it was probably one of the most favorably received summits ever. And it had a very unique theme, one that initially I was a little bit concerned about. I didn't know how well it would come across, but it was fantastic. We had it at the Del Coronado Hotel in San Diego, California. That is one of the most unique hotels that's ever been built. It's the second largest wood hotel ever. And it's where the book, The Wizard of Oz, was written. So our theme was The Wizard of Oz. And we had many of our key people that were the characters on The Wizard of Oz and wove that into the theme of making 2019 fantastic. A year where you did find your courage, where you did find your heart, where you did find bravery in what you were doing. And we did a dream board. This is the first time we've ever done dream boards at a meeting. And it's probably the first time in 15 years that I've been involved in a dream board. And I forgot how valuable that is. So I want to pass on to all of you, if you haven't done a dream board and you want to do it in a group, you don't want to do it individually, and you want to have a bunch of magazines where you can cut things out and paste them on your dream board that represent the things that you would like to have in your life. It's the way to discern what your why is. Is that your dream board back there, Sharon? Big time believer. Then you get a group of your people together and put a dream together, a board together. It helps you really understand why you want to do this kind of business. And it helps you understand that this is a career. And that's another thing that Sharon asked me to talk about, is what a career professional network marketer would do during the course of a day, a course of a week. So I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but I want to finish on the summit first. All over the world, 100 years ago, we had one of the most dynamic decades that ever occurred. It was called the Roaring Twenties, and it was called the Roaring Twenties just about everywhere. And we duplicated a whole lot of the Roaring Twenties also. We had a night where we all wore the same kind of gear, clothing that they wore back then. The ladies wore flappers and boas and feathers in their hat, and the guys had the fedoras and spats on their shoes. And we really keyed in on what it's like to make the best of your life, not accepting what everyone else accepts. Many people just accept what the world throws at them, and network marketers are not like that at all. Network marketers want to go beyond. They want their lives to be bigger and better than what most other people are willing to accept. So that kind of theme, I think, fits in real well with me talking about what does a network marketer do? What do we professional network marketers do on a regular basis? And it's things that are different than what many other people do. We do dream, and we establish dreams in our own lives, and we teach other people how to dream again. I think one of the things that I've enjoyed the most in my 40 plus years in this industry is watching people that had not had dreams in their life or about their lives for years and years, and by seeing the possibilities in this industry, start establishing dreams again and start reaching out for a different life, a better life. And what's so good about network marketing is that you can do that in conjunction with your full-time activity. You don't have to disrupt your life. You have to carve out a certain amount of time that you can devote to what may very well be your full-time occupation down the road. So you can work on a part-time basis in this business and develop a full-time income, and then decide if you want to jump full-time into network marketing. I want to recommend a book. If you have not read it, if you have read it, get it out and read it again. Go Pro by Eric Worre, first and foremost, shows that this is a valuable industry. This is a valuable profession. There have been people that have knocked this profession over the years, and I think primarily they have done that because they worked at it, but they didn't work at it enough, and because they came up short, then they tend to spend a whole lot of time negating it or looking down on it. I remember when I first was introduced to network marketing and what my opinion was, and it wasn't that strong. And then I remember when I first got involved with it, and I realized that it was a lot of hard work. And I've been teaching people that all of the years that I've been in this business. I hate it when somebody says that this business is easy. I don't think this business is easy at all. But what else is hard? What are you doing that's hard right now? What's hard in life? Life is not easy. It's hard. The difference in our hard and most of the other hard that people are dealing with, like getting up at a cardinal time, fighting traffic every morning, trying to finish making yourself up and drink a cup of coffee and make that last minute phone call and get to a destination, to and many times work with people that you would not have chosen to work with. That's hard. The difference in our hard is the rewards that can be attained. My book that just came out recently is called Get a Grip. Well, the Get a Grip slogan means grab hold of your life, grab hold of your finances, grab hold of your health, grab hold of your ideas, grab hold of your purpose, grab hold of your relationships, grab hold of everything in your life and improve them, make them better. That term, get a grip, has been a familiar slogan used all over the world for years and years and years. I have an extra definition for it, though. When I say get a grip, I'm also talking about a growing, recurring income potential. Write that down. Put it in a place where you see it frequently. As you're building your dreams, you want to be involved in a process that allows you to have a growing, recurring income potential. Now, does it mean that that's going to happen real quickly or that's going to happen very easily? No. I get back to the fact that it's hard. But in this industry, it is possible and it is done. The precedent has been set. Entirely too many people worldwide have been able to reach incomes far beyond what they would have ever been able to reach in the regular workaday world. There's unlimited capability. We've had that as a manifest theme many, many times in the past, something that deals with the unlimited capacity, and it really is unlimited. I think when I'm talking about our activities, I think the first thing that all of us must realize, and I say that in one of the chapters of Get a Grip, is that you are the CEO. I'm going to say something that is so strong, so absolute, so profound. I've said it for many, many years, and it just kind of jumps on people sometimes when I initially say it, but it is so true. If you are successful in this business, take credit. If you are not successful in this business, take credit. You are the CEO. The company, with all network marketing companies, is just a facilitator. They're just the people that are going to make sure some marketing materials or marketing materials are going to be done for us. Some videos are going to be done for us. A commission structure that is fair and viable is going to be done for us. They're going to ship the product. We're not going to have to do big inventories of product and ship it to customers. A network marketing headquarters takes care of the administration. We have one responsibility: contacts. We are the ones that are supposed to be securing new customers, securing new associates that are also customers, teaching those ones that want to be associate/customers how they too can have a set of activities that give you that success. Now I'm going to start enumerating some of those activities, and hopefully we'll have time where we can even ask questions and you can throw in some of the things. Every first Saturday of the month, there's a training done here at Manatech. It's archived, so you guys can watch it too. It's available. The one that we did the past Saturday is canned. It's filmed. It's archived. It's available to you right now. You can get online and watch our Saturday morning trainings. And tomorrow morning will be the first Saturday morning of the month, so we'll do a new training. I'm going to be part of that training tomorrow. I'm going to say some of the same things tomorrow that I'm saying today because of my preparation for this function. But I strongly recommend that you watch the Saturday trainings that are conducted at the Manatech headquarters in Flower Mound the first Saturday of every month. I think they're exceptional. And there's one part of that Saturday morning training that we rarely vary from. We almost always tell people that in this industry, you establish a list of people that you want to contact, and you keep that list active and alive. You decide to eliminate some people on that list. You decide to add people. It is not something you do once. The first week you get into network marketing or the first month or whatever. It's something that you do all the time. I spent time on my list this morning. I'm always adding to the list. I'm always eliminating people from the list. I'm always calling people that I've called many, many times in the past. I get a kick out of looking at people on the list before that are now not on the list because they're very active with Manatech. They're very involved with Manatech. And in some cases, I had to call them a number of times, but I knew that they had great potential. I knew that they had a great desire for life, a great inspiration, so I kept working with them. I truly never give up on people, but sometimes people want me to give up on them, and I don't like harassing people. If somebody gets across to me that they're just not going to do this business, fine. If they, and I will let them go quicker for that, but there's no excuse for not taking this product and giving yourself better health. And I can prove that, but I don't even have to prove it. We have an extensive guarantee that allows them to prove it in their own laboratory, in their own body. We always go over lists. We always go over appointments. You have to get appointments with people, and you have to make appointments with people. Now, sometimes if they're a long ways away from you, then you just do it by phone or you just do it by email. That's acceptable. But I am such an advocate for up close and personal, sitting down at a coffee shop or sitting down for a meal with people and spending some real time with them. And I never deceive people. I never lead people to think that I'm there to discuss something else. If I want to discuss my products and my business, I make sure that they know that it's not something they're blindsided by. I think people dislike that the most about people that are in this industry. I think one of the things they dislike the most is somebody calling them from the past, want to renew their friendship. And when they find out that when they get together, that renewing the friendship wasn't really what they were interested in at all. If I'm calling somebody from the past to renew the friendship, that's all I do frequently the first time I see them. And then I determine then if during the course of renewing that friendship that I want them to be introduced to what I do, what my life is all about. I really love people. I really love I love the fact that this industry makes me think about many people in my past and put them back into my life. First thing was list, second thing's appointment, third thing is presentation. And I think you need to learn how to do a presentation. It needs to be step by step. It needs to prove the strength of this company, the strength of this product, and the strength of this opportunity if you're discussing that part with them. You might just be discussing strength of company and product. But if there's somebody that are maybe an associate with you, it would be all three. So you need to have a presentation that you go over with your upline. I think it's so valuable to do presentations for a long time with your upline. Not that you're going to follow exactly what they do, but you see what they do, you see what you like about what they do, you see things that you would like to maybe do a little bit differently. But you must make presentations. This business, this industry requires that you make presentations. You don't have people just walk up to you and say, hey, aren't you involved with one of those very good nutritional supplement companies? I think I'd like to get involved. That just doesn't happen. You have to make a presentation. Now, some people in our industry for years now have been saying that you should not call that sales. You should call it education, or you should call it training, or you should call it informing. I think that's okay for them to do that, but I have never called it anything but sales. I think it is sales. I think when you're representing a product that has a value to it, and you're asking those people to exchange their money for that product, I don't see how you can define that any other way other than it's sales. What is wrong with sales? I think sales make the world go around. I have said something jokingly, but I'm not too sure it isn't so, that I think the salesmen are going to have the best places in heaven. We're really the ones that make the world go around. How do you make any business go? Name a business that can go without sales taking place. Nothing happens until the cash register rings, and nothing makes the cash register ring before someone explains that product or introduces that product or gives the features and benefits of that product. We have such a fantastic product line. It is not difficult with our product line to explain the uniqueness of our product, the capabilities of our product, the guarantees of our product. We are a very unhealthy world. If you look on the World Health Organization and see where the U.S. sits, where your country sits, where all other countries sit, you'll find out that an awful lot of us are way down the totem pole in health. And if you ask the World Health Organization, what are the main reasons for that? The first thing they're going to tell you is what we consume, what we eat. We're not eating quality food. We're not eating food that has the nutrition in it that you need. And Manatech has gone about the business for a quarter of a century now of finding out what is missing and filling that void. Put together supplements that don't just fill the void, but have by far the best sources, the closest to real, the closest to food. Of course, we are supplements, but we get just as close as we can to being something that nourishes your body properly, has the right ionic state to it. And we also have an awful lot of studies that are published on our product on the manatechscience.org site. The biggest point that I want to make is that you have to make presentations. And are all your presentations going to be good? Are they all going to be effective? Are you going to make mistakes? My favorite example is that I've never heard of a basketball player that didn't commit fouls. The better the basketball player is, the more likely they're going to commit fouls. If you're doing the best, you're going to make some mistakes. That's part of what we're doing. It's okay to not do everything right. What's not okay is to not make the presentations. It's okay to come up short of the presentation. What's not okay is to fail to attempt to make the presentation. So what I've talked about is the list first, who you're going to talk to, the appointment, the presentation, and then the follow-up. The follow-up whether they say yes, or the follow-up whether they say no. The follow-up whether they choose to just be a customer, or whether they choose to be an associate, or they choose for you to get back to them again. Those 4 things are of paramount importance, and what we do in your activities are groomed around those basic 4. And if you're not working on those basic 4 and teaching those basic 4 to your organization, it's much more difficult to be successful in this business. I had those basic 4 presented to me 40 plus years ago, and I'm still doing the same basic 4. In every business, the basics are the basics. And then the main thing is the main thing. Okay, I've said a whole lot so far. Now I'm going to say the main thing. The main thing. This is the main thing. Selling your product. That's the main thing. I have people, honestly, that spend a lot of time reading books, a lot of time doing conference calls, a lot of time making appointments, a lot of times making lists. The main thing is not occurring. The main thing is selling the product. How successful would a Coca-Cola representative be if they never sold the Coca-Cola to anybody? They just talked about how fantastic it is. They just drove a route to different places, but didn't have anybody that was accepting deliveries. Always remember the basics and always remember the main thing. Why do I stress the main thing? Because I think an awful lot of us spend a lot of busy time and not enough time on the main thing. You need to always be thinking about where you're going to represent your product next, where you're going to represent your opportunity next, and be doing that, be making that happen, be working towards the main thing. Now, there's some things that you might want to write down that I wrote down to pass on to you that are part of everything that I've said here so far. You need to familiarize yourself with the tools that are available. There's an awful lot of tools available online with Man-Attack. There's an awful lot of tools available with Man-Emotion. I'm a big advocate of Man-Emotion. I'm a big advocate of books, and the 3 books that I'm stressing right now are GoPro, 4-Year Career, and Get a Grip. If you're not willing to read those books, then you're telling me you're not willing to educate yourself about what's valuable in this industry and what things you need to do in this industry. I like to use my brother-in-law, that's a heart surgeon, as an example. Did my brother-in-law have to go to school? Did my brother-in-law have to read books in order to be a heart surgeon? Yes. And my brother-in-law, because he did that, because he educated himself, is making a very, very good income today. But his income is not as good as mine. I educated myself. I learned what this business is all about. I learned how to make an effective presentation. I learned how to accept rejection. Rejection is just part of this business. Everybody's not going to get it. There are many, many very good products out there that people will never, ever in their lives buy. My product is spectacular, but I know many, many people are going to go through their lives and they're not going to benefit from it, even though someone has presented it to them. So I'm not going to take that personally. If someone rejects me, that's okay. One of the reasons why you want to do it with your upline initially is because if there's a rejection, you can share the blame, or you can pass the blame off on your upline. But I really believe in reading books, and I'm really a believer in the 4-Year Career and the training that's done by Richard Brooke. That training is archived. It's available through Man-Attack. You can find out about that. And I think that you ought to adhere to that. You ought to avail yourself of that. While I'm thinking about it, and Sharon, you might want to jump in here now and give some particulars. Next weekend is your big event in Australia. And Al Bala will be there. Dr. Nugent will be there. My son Kevin is going to be there. And I know that for the last couple of weeks, they've been preparing what they want to tell you diligently. They want to make sure that they give you information that you are wowed by. You know that it was valuable for you to be there. So one of the biggest things you do, if this is your career, is you make it to the annual big event. You just don't skip those. They're a priority. You want to be rubbing shoulders to shoulders with people that are involved with this fantastic business. I don't have it written down here, so I want to bring this up so that I won't forget it. In this country, and in many parts of the world, we have a fantastic weight management product. It has 3 different products to it. It has a shake, it has a cleanse, it has a metabolic enhancer. You have that product as well. In my country, I cannot say things that you can say in your country. And I think that that's such a valuable asset for you. You can say that it's a meal replacement. Because of the laws of our land, we can't call it a meal replacement. We're still selling it very good because people are substituting at least part of a meal in our country by taking it. And I don't know how many of y'all know what my size has been in the past, but this guy is 58 pounds less than what I was several years ago. I lost 55 pounds the first year with Manitech's products, and then I kept it off. What did I pay for that product? I paid an amount for the product that I completely covered by substituting most of one meal every day. I didn't even do the 2-meal substitution per day that some people do. I just did one. Now, I did add something to my product. Besides the 3 things that are in it, I added NutriBears to my shake. So I did make it a little bit more nutritious. I had never, ever had an appetite prior to the noon hour. It completely curbed my appetite. I didn't have any problems skipping that first meal or most of what I was consuming in that first meal. I was spending more on that full meal by far than I was spending on our product. In your country, you can tell people that. You can tell people you can replace a meal, and the cost of the meal that you replaced will more than offset the cost of this product. That's a big point, I think, that you need to tell everybody when they say, well, I just can't afford it. Well, I'll show you how you can. And then you explain that to them in great detail. Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about was Success Tracker. I think really in tune people with this business will check out their organizations on a regular basis. They'll know where they stand. They'll know where their key leaders stand. They'll know where people that have been expressing a strong interest stand. So I'm a big time believer in checking Success Tracker on a regular basis and doing next leader level reports on a regular basis on yourself and especially on key people in your organization. So Success Tracker is a very important tool. I think that you should have a scheduled time of activity where you're calling certain people that are leaders in your organization. They know that you're going to call them on a regular basis. You're going to show them that you care about them. You're not just talking about the business. You're developing a relationship with those people. You need to be talking to potential new customers and new associates as well. So talking about activities, those are some of the key things. I'm a big believer in things like what Sharon is doing right now. This tool has been so valuable to Australians for a long time. These regular Zoom calls that you can watch at different times, they're important. You don't want to forsake them. Sharon and her team work hard on making sure that they have people that will give you valuable information, and you need to make sure that you're taking advantage of it and you're getting people in your organization to take advantage of it as well. Some people frequently ask me, so where do you get new leads? Where do you run into new people? Because I put new people in the business in Manitech on a regular basis. I could go to any coffee shop in the world today and I'm going to start a conversation with people. I'm going to start getting to know people. Sometimes I will not mention Manatech at all, because what I'm really doing is showing my interest in people. I just love new people in my life. I flew back from Montreal, Canada yesterday. I went to Detroit, and on my flight from Detroit to DFW, I had a gentleman sit beside me that's from Beijing. He didn't speak very good English, and I don't speak very good Chinese, but we still talked, and we exchanged cards, and we developed an interest. And when I got back, I called someone from Beijing that has a PhD from the University of Beijing that now lives in Seattle. And that guy is getting involved with her when he goes back to Beijing. He's over here putting a niece in school at Southern Methodist University, and he's very interested. I just started a conversation. People that sit by me on an airplane are going to talk to me. People that sit by me in a coffee shop are going to talk to me. I do not spend all of my time staring at my devices. Drop your devices. Get rid of your devices. Something that I have started many conversations with is I'll be sitting with a group of people. Everybody's looking at their devices except for me. And I will say, you know, I really love people. I used to be able to talk to people easily all over the place. Now it's more difficult for me because nobody will make eye-to-eye contact with me. They're staring at their phones or they're staring at their computers. I wish somebody would talk to me. All I have to do is say something like that, and there will always be somebody that will put their device down and say, you know, I miss talking to people like I used to also. And I start a conversation, and pretty soon I've got a conversation going with 5 or 6 different people. And invariably, they're going to say, so what do you do? They're going to say, are you retired? And then, you know, they can see that I'm gray-haired, you know, and I've got a few years on me. But I said, no, I don't think I'm ever going to do that. I can't find retirement anywhere in the Bible. And that usually starts a great conversation. I said, not that I'm opposed to people retiring. I don't want to. I love what I'm doing. I'm showing people how to have a better life. I'm showing people every day how they can have a better level of health, how they can have better finances, how they can have a better purpose in their life. And it always has it. So how do you give people a better purpose? I said, our company is a social entrepreneur company. Every time we sell a certain amount of product, we can give a 1-month supply of appropriate nutrition to a kid in an orphanage somewhere in the world. At our current pace, we're giving appropriate nutrition to 100,000 children every day. 100,000 children are getting appropriate nutrition every day. I said, that floats my boat. That gives me an incredible purpose. I love people getting involved with better health with me by taking my products, because I know they can't have that better health without giving that better health to a kid in an orphanage somewhere in the world. So I can give people better finances, better health. A lot of times people say, that sounds like one of those network marketing companies. Says, absolutely. That is by far the best way to be in business anywhere in the world. There is no business in the world that has produced more financial strength for people than has network marketing. It's a great industry. Now, that doesn't mean people won't beat it up, but I think it's because they tried it and they didn't try it hard enough or long enough, and they weren't successful. So rather than taking the blame themselves, they pass it out on the industry. I said, I've been in the industry for over 40 years. I've made a great living for over 40 years. And I own my own life, and I give many other people freedom. I give people the cake. So you have to have responses for people. You have to be able to counter their objections without being objectionable. Those are just tools of this trade. 2019 can be better for everybody if you step it up a level. Become more professional. And don't try to do it by yourself. Do it in conjunction with somebody in your downline or somebody in your upline, so that you can then discuss anything that you did, and you've got a growth process that's taking place. Please believe me when I honestly say this is a great profession. This is a great company in that great profession. This is a company that has the best products in this profession with this great company. All you have to do is put yourself into it, step it up, and don't think it's just going to happen. Don't think that you can do this business successfully without being on these conference calls, without making your list, without making appointments, without making presentations, without following up. And yes, it's hard. It's hard, but I've never done anything like that wasn't hard. How hard was it for me to be in combat in Vietnam, flying helicopters? Was that hard? And people were even trying to take my life. Yeah, that's hard. But I endured it. I did it. I gained from it. I developed character from it. I got to a point where I decided that hard is not wrong, but I wanted something with a better reward. I didn't mind doing something that had some requirements to it. I just didn't want to be limited in who I could work for and who I could work with and what my income would be. And I didn't want to have to beg people for when I was going to take my vacation time. And if a friend of mine died, I had to beg to go to their funerals. I haven't done that. I don't have to do that. I own my own life. Now, there's requirements. I mean, when I flew to Montreal, there was so much weather. I don't know if you guys heard about the ridiculous cold that occurred in the northern tier of the U.S. and in Canada during the course of the last few days, but we broke cold records all over Canada and the U.S. Places that had never been negative before that were negative 30. You know, one place in the U.S. was negative 56. Now, when I was just going to Montreal, I waited at the airport for 5 hours before they would even fly me there. And then when I went and when I got there, it was so cold and blistering. And then on the way back, what should have been a quick trip back, I ended up sitting in an airport in between for 5 hours again. That's hard, but it's okay. Al Bala, Dr. Nugent, Kevin will fly many, many hours to come see you guys next weekend. That's hard, but it's so rewarding. It's okay to have hard if you have great reward. If you have a growing, recurring income potential. If there are no limits to what you do. Okay, I've discussed the summit. We did have a new product talked about that's going to be introduced at our manifest. I don't know if they're going to introduce that product right away in Australia or not. I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited about Manitech. The Dream Board thing and the Wizard of Oz theme were fantastic. I've discussed with you that this is a career, and this career has activities. You have to show up. You have to do things. But the rewards are so great, and your big meeting is taking place next weekend, so be there. No excuses. You want to be there. You will be glad you were there, rubbing shoulders with people that are in this business and hear the presentations that have been worked on so hard by people there and people here from the U.S. Sharon, what would you like to do next? I think we've got about another 15 minutes for whatever you wish.
Absolutely. I just want to back you up there, Ray. You know, if there's any way by hook or by crook you can make it to the big events, they're life-changing. And we will do our best. We can't do the same, but we will do our best to have a series of speakers to emulate some of the content that was at our convention coming up next weekend. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'll be getting my team to run around and convince people to come and share their stories and expertise with us on this call. And if you have any questions, now's the time to be writing them in the chat box and I can help. I wanted to mention that Ray mentioned how important it is to learn Success Tracker and to be using it regularly in your business. And we do have a Success Tracker training planned in March. So stay tuned. If you want to get the tips, we have them coming. So Ray, I actually think that you covered what's most important, is that those books that you got, I've had a few questions where to get them. I know each and every one of them have their own website, but if you just Google, you might be able to get them all in one place. That's my advice to you. And again, they can be read and repeated. But I don't really have any questions. I mean, that's the basics, Ray. You know, there's always people that you can talk to and find out where their needs are and help them with what we have. We're blessed what we have. We're in a bit of a transition here in Australasian corporate. And so we'll be finding more about that, and we'll be bringing that with you know, with us to the calls going forward. And we've got a question from Rachel. Thank you. What resources, do you carry any resources with you to appointments, or how do you go to the next level once you've had spiked somebody's interest?
Well, I have become a very verbal individual. I like looking at somebody in the eyes and telling them the information, and then telling them where they can back up what I said. I usually end up telling people about the allaboutmanatech.com site and how they can find different things on that. I usually bring the 4-Year Career book with me and the Get a Grip book with me. Right now I'm out of GoPro books, but I usually have one of those. And if people are really interested in starting on one of those books, I pass it off to them. And it's a good way to follow up too, because I tell them I've rotated that book around. The books are worn. You can tell it. Many people have read them. And I have a list that I carry with me that tells me things that I should cover that I didn't. It's like in our call today, I wrote down skim milk, and then I didn't say it. But I found out that in order for you guys to say that you're a meal replacement, you need to use skim milk with it. And so I can forget things if I don't write down some notes. And I've got a list of things like new products, specials, ranking up, Tuesday night live, Saturday trainings, every first Saturday, the Man of Motion, the M-Life program. I talk about whatever's the next event that's coming up. I talk about M5M. I think probably sometimes I talk about too much, you know, and I think that's one of the bad things about a lot of us. I think it's a whole lot better initially to get it across to people that you're just trying to improve their health. You're just trying to give them a better source of nutrition than what they're getting now. And they don't even have to believe you because of our guarantee. You just tell them, make sure you keep the containers, and I will help you. If you don't think this has improved your health, improved your life, then I'll make sure that we exercise the guarantee. That's what you want to do. I've said that so many times. I've never had someone exercise the guarantee with me. The amount of guarantees that are exercised worldwide with us is infinitesimally small. People realize when they take real products, real nutrition, that it makes a difference. You know, the meaning of Nutraveris, Nutra means nutrition and Veris means real. So it's real nutrition. We're providing people with real nutrition. You're getting vitamins and minerals that really work, and you're getting omega-3s. There's Nutraveris on the shirt. I like that.
Cool, Gary. We've got a couple more questions, Ray.
I'm sorry?
We've got a couple more questions.
Okay.
A request for your Get a Grip book. Think Kevin can bring a box, or we can inspire corporate down here to have them available at the convention.
I'll tell Kevin to bring a bunch of books. Yeah.
I know that's hard when you're traveling.
And I think you can get them on Amazon there as well. I think you can get them just about anywhere in the world on Amazon. And there's also a way that you can get multiples at a better price through a company here in the U.S., but I don't remember what that company is.
Okay. We can help you find that out. Usually what happens for any questions you have on here, I put the answers in, if you click on the link in YouTube, or I put the archive later. So if someone mentions a link to a document, it'll be there. So I'll do my best to make sure these links that we've shown today are in that archive as well. Another question is, when you mention showing someone a presentation, is that a verbal one or a PowerPoint or a video?
It depends upon the individual. My son, Kevin, would never do a presentation without using PowerPoint. I think that's so of a lot of people in a younger generation. I have used PowerPoints a number of times. I prefer my own mind and the memory and stating things and then reiterating them if necessary. And I find that what people want more than anything is to know that you believe in it. They're looking at your fire about it, your passion about it. No one ever hears a presentation from me that they don't realize that I am so sold on these products and what they can do for you. You know, I've been in this company for 25 years now, and I haven't had the flu for 25 years. I never, ever, prior to Manitech, went a year without having the flu at least once that would incapacitate me for a week. I'm witnessing that all around me right now. There's all kinds of people that are experiencing the flu. I'm exposed to those people. I've just been on a whole bunch of airplanes flying all over. I'm exposed to stuff just like everybody else. My level of immune capability is so much greater. How valuable is that? So and that's the kind of thing that I think is very difficult to put on a PowerPoint. It's not difficult to express. And if you're speaking it and they come up with some kind of a response or an objection or something like that, your next PowerPoint is not going to address that. And if you're speaking it, you can address whatever it is at the moment.
So it's a very personal choice, and that's all great advice. And I know, Ray, you've got a hit. Go ahead.
That's me. I think people need to go with what they are comfortable with. If you feel more comfortable with putting a real good PowerPoint together, hallelujah, do that. They work too. I mean, Kevin's very successful in this, and he's not the same as me. He does it differently. I don't mind people doing it differently as long as they do it. And I think another reason why you want to be your CEO is because you want to be the boss. You don't want me being your boss. You want to be the boss. You want to do it your way. I like people to honor who they are and function the way they function better. They're the happiest. That's another thing that's so valuable about this business. I signed up a new young man a couple of days ago. And I found out after we had talked for quite some time that he had been in sales for a long time with a very famous insurance company here in the US. And he left them and got into a different line of work completely because they were constantly giving him quotas. And biggest thing he wanted from me was, if I get involved with this and I learn the product real well and I represent this, what are my quotas? I said, whatever you want them to be. If you want to sign up a new person every week, make that happen. If you want to do one per month, make that happen. You know, it's up to you. So there's no quotas. No, sir, you're the boss. I'm going to facilitate you. I'm going to educate you to the best of your request, but I'm not your boss. You're the boss. He loved that. He's so excited about getting into this because somebody isn't going to be making him do something. They're just going to facilitate. That's
fantastic. Because I know, Ray, I've known you many years now, and you've got a history of blood sugar problems, and you should see all the comments here on how young you look. You know, like people, your peers with similar challenges would be having all kinds of complications, probably decades younger than you, and you're just a shining example.
73 years old, and my level of health is amazing. Now, something that you guys don't know because you weren't around 25 years ago when Manitech started, the reason why I got into Manitech is because of my poor health. I had poor health when I got involved in this. That's the reason why I got involved. And as I've gotten older and older and older, I've gotten healthier and healthier and healthier because of consuming appropriate nutrition. My mother's state of health when I got involved with this was ridiculously poor. My mother was about what I am now. There's about 20 years difference in our age. So when I got involved with this, my mother was about what I am now. My mother is 94 years old right now, and she's so healthy. If I put her on right now, she'd have you all laughing in a matter of a couple of minutes. She's got such good spirits and such good attitude, such good mental health. We have 5 studies that show how valuable our product is for cognitive capability. How important is that as you get older?
Really important.
I don't think I would be anywhere near as mentally aware today if it weren't for all the Manatech products I've been taking.
Absolutely. And a few of us have been joking that we've had to go to events where we haven't seen people for 20 years, and we're all so much younger than them. Like, they've continued to age, and it's hard to describe that. But like, I'm 60, coming 62 in a few months, and people think I'm 40, and I don't want to spread that around because I don't want it to change. But, it is 20 years of these products, 21 this year of these products has changed my life.
Absolutely.
Mm.
The Chinese woman that was sitting beside me on the airplane yesterday, his mother was sitting 2 seats away, and his mother was 71 and looked 85. And when I told him that I was 2 years older than his mother, he was flabbergasted. You want to know why? I held up the Manatech products. This is the reason.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a question about the science, Ray. Do you talk about the science? And if you do, how do you do that?
Well, I don't get real involved in science. I don't think people want that. I don't think people are interested in becoming a biochemist when they're getting involved with this. When somebody go to buy a television set, they don't want to know all the inner workings of that television set. They want to know, does it work? If it doesn't work, can I bring it back? So I keep the science as simple as possible, but I know there's a lot of people out there that want the science, so I direct them to Dr. Nugent's videos. I said, if you want to know the science deeply, we have someone with us that explains it. We send him all over the world to explain it. Every time he comes, many people show up. They love it. What I do is say, this is better nutrition than what you're consuming. It's better. It works better. It'll make you feel better. It'll keep you feeling better. You'll have better energy. You'll sleep better. Your sex is better. If you take better food, better nutrition, your life is better. And that's what Manatech is doing. Manatech is doing the best they can to replace, to supplement what you're missing in your normal nutritional regimen. And it makes a difference. I said, one thing it can do, and I tell it to a lot of people, is it can make you smaller. Do you think that if you're at appropriate shape, that it might have something to do with better health? I'm in appropriate shape because of Manatech products. That's one reason why my health is so good. That's one reason why my energy is so good.
There's another question. There's another question on follow-up. So, and this, this is from Linda. We all experience this. But when you have follow-up, and some people stay and some people don't, and you get people to events, what's the best way to help people really stay engaged? And also follow-up, I guess, to get them started.
Yeah, I think the best way to keep people engaged is communication. I have an email broadcast that I do to a certain set of people on a very regular basis. I have a certain set of people that I make sure I call on a very regular basis. I think that a whole lot of times when people stop being engaged, it's because you haven't developed a relationship with those people. They don't know your grandkids' names. They don't know when you went on a vacation last. You don't know when they went on a vacation last. You're not discussing the values of the product. It says, so what have you experienced? Like, we've got this relatively new product called Prime 7 here. So I've been talking to all kinds of people about, so tell me about Prime 7. What's Prime 7 doing in your life? I usually get a chuckle first. Oh, this one's going to be good. You say, well, I'll try to keep it from being too good, And, you know what I'm hearing from Prime 7 the most? Says, I'm only going to the bathroom once a night, and I was going 3 or 4 times. And I'm telling you, that is important to people. That's super important to people. People tell me all the time about their skin is so much better, and they think it's because of Manatech products, and it probably is. I have people that tell me that they hardly ever slept more than 6 hours a night before. But I can sleep 7.5 very easily now. It's perfect. I know that I'm not sleep deprived. One of the biggest reasons why we lose our health rapidly as we get older is we become more sleep deprived. Sleep deprivation is a big problem all over the world. People are not getting enough sleep. One of the biggest reasons why you're not getting enough sleep is you're not providing appropriate nutrition to your body. So how important is that? I mean, when I tell people that, and they're considering getting off of the product, they think twice. They think, maybe I should stay involved. That's so valuable. One of the things that I like a whole lot here is we have these meetings on Tuesday nights. People rub shoulders with each other on a regular basis. They share things that are going on in their lives. They might not talk about Manatech. They might talk about Manatech. They hear a presentation. They hug each other when they show up. They hug when they come back. One of the biggest reasons why everybody needs to come to your event this coming weekend is they need to hug a bunch of the people they haven't seen for a while. They need to reconnect with people that are important to them. They need to feel their energy. They need to feel their faith. If their faith is waning, they can have that faith revitalized by getting in conjunction with people. The people that stay engaged and stay communicating are the ones that stay and stay and stay. And you talk about how valuable your health is. How important is your health? Tell me something more valuable than your health. It's valuable. And I say that stuff to people. When somebody says, man, I'm having a hard time affording these things. I love the product, but I'm having a hard time paying for them. Just give me some people to talk to with you. Let's get an organization going so that you can defray those costs. I really believe, now this is a little bit harsh in the minds of some people, but I think the only people that pay for Manatech products are selfish people. They're selfish to tell other people. No, or maybe they weren't selfish, but they were unwilling to put a little effort into letting somebody else have that level of health. How do I deserve the level of health I have without giving it away to other people? I don't think I deserve that. I think I have to. It's incumbent upon me to give it away. I don't deserve what I have if I don't give it away. And I tell other people that all the time when I said, hey, you're not sharing this. This is good news. You're supposed to share good news. You know how well this stuff works. Let's you and I share it together. I'll with you. I'll go with you. You can bring them to the Tuesday night meetings. You can get them online. You can have them watch the videos on Man of Motion. You can send them Man of Motion videos to watch. You know, there's too many ways that you can share this with other people. And you don't have to share it with the world. No, I've been a big advocate of the 2x2x2 for a long time. 2 people. From then on, make sure everybody has 2 people. It goes 2, 4, 8, 16, 64. Now, after they have a certain number, I'm a strong advocate of them getting 2 more legs. So I really believe in the 4x4. And Kevin's going to talk about that a whole lot. That's a big part of his presentation, how much more dynamic your income will be if you'll start with 2x2, but transition into 4x4 and get everybody in the organization to do that. I think that in 7 levels deep in a 2x2, there's less than 300 people. In 7 levels deep of a 4x4 organization, there's 21,000 people. It's a big difference. That's your big pay zone. You know, so, but I don't think you ever have to have more than 4, ever. You don't ever have to introduce this to more than 4. You have to have 6 people to carry you out of this place. You know, if you're dead, you have to have at least 6 pallbearers. We're just asking you to have 4 people that they'll start a business. And those 4 people don't even really have to be serious about it. They just have to keep it going a certain amount. So that it keeps going a certain amount and a certain amount.
Fantastic, Ray. We're at the end of the hour that you've offered us. What's in your heart to leave? I just want to say I'm so grateful for y'all being here. It's a lot more fun when we're talking to all of you and when we have so many people here. And so congratulations to all of you. And Ray, what's in your heart to leave people with?
Well, for those of you that are on, share this with a whole bunch of other people. Get a whole bunch of people in the next couple of days to watch this. You archive it, correct?
Correct.
Have them watch it, and then make sure that everybody knows the particulars for your big event that's coming up next weekend, and strongly encourage them to be there. They will definitely be glad that they came. So I think that's the most important things I can tell you right now is you that are on this call are a special set, but that special set now has a requirement to make sure that other people get the same information. And then you even carry it to a whole nother level by the function that's taking place next weekend, and be there.
Where do you see Mantech going in 2019, Ray, and beyond?
Oh, I think we're going to run in, you know what 2020 means with vision? That's next year. 2020 is the year of vision. So I think that what we're going to do in 2019 is to step into that level of vision. Is going to be phenomenal. This is going to be a very exciting, fantastic year, and 2020 is going to be amazing.
Great. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you so much for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, based on our Australian internet, this call will be archived and up on YouTube within the next 24 to 48 hours. Sometimes it takes me a few goes. Ray, have a great weekend at your training tomorrow, and we'll all be thinking of you.
Okay. My pleasure.
Thanks,
I love
everyone.
you.
Yeah, we love you too. Have a great weekend, everyone.